Felicity from Get Your Rock Out, here talking to Gavin, the man behind Damnation. So how are you feeling today?
I am still a bag of nerves, and it's normally just about the headline band with a pint that Damnation becomes enjoyable. I usually prefer the Sunday to the Saturday, to be honest, so the nerves are camped out. Everything, get final few bands coming through the doors, all the stages are running in time, and I feel good. I'll get better.
Now, and this festival has come on from, such a tiny thing to start with, and it's turned into what, to be honest, I think pretty much anybody involved in the whole genre would class as the best metal festival there is in the country, I think, quite easily. And, did you ever think that when you started it would get to the stage it was at now?
Honestly, I never had any long-term plan. I wish I could go back to 2004 and ask myself the question, because I don't know is the honest answer, because in 2004 when we were doing it, it was really just an idea of trying to get a couple of bands together in a pub and do something just a bit different. Rather than moaning about the fact that there was so much power metal or pop metal at other events, rather than just going to a message board and moaning about it, we said, right, well, why don't we actually try and do something? But then we booked Entombed in 6th and we just beat on, and it kind of snowballed and sold it the first year, and after that we were on the go-kart and going hurtling towards Leeds. So it's great looking back in hindsight, but I'd like to ask myself what I would think in 2004 if you knew I was going to be sitting here 9 Damnations in, and the bands that we've had up in the fantastic.
And the lineup just gets better and better every year, and it's unbelievable. And I think everybody kind of thinks, well, they just can't top that, and then you pull somebody out of the bag, and you're just like, wow, well, okay, then they top that. And
no, we've been lucky a bit. We've got good taste in music, and obviously our fans have got better taste because they're the one buying the tickets. But the bands, we chase all sorts of bands. Some of them you get, some of them you don't, and it's basically just a lineup that we like. So the fact that it falls into place, you get a wee bit more confident as the years go on, and you know that the fans will come back if you deliver the goods. So you can maybe go for a few extra bands that are need to fly in, that you're not going to get. And when you're starting, the first couple of years you're like, well, we fly with these bands in and no one shows up. It's
could be a little awkward.
Yeah, a little awkward for the bank account. So it's been good. It's been good.
And I think the main thing behind Damnation is the fact that actually you all do really love the music and you love the bands that you're putting on. But I think so many festivals start like that and end up drifting towards the more commercial aspect of things. Do you think that could ever happen to Damnation?
It's difficult because I'm not promoted as a full-time job, so this is a hobby to me. It's an out-of-control hobby, but it's a hobby all the same. And if I didn't enjoy it, there's no way I could finish work and go back at night and actually start on a festival. So it's a necessity for it to be a lineup that we all enjoy, or else you just couldn't put the time and effort into it that we do, because it'd be such a thankless task. And then when you finally get here on the day and watch some crap band that you don't like, so yeah, whether my taste or whether what I would term my taste in music becomes more commercial, and then by accident Damnation becomes a big commercial success, then brilliant, I'll take it. But until then I'm just going to book the bands that we love, and hopefully the fans love them too.
So we have to kind of really hope that you don't start suddenly listening to a lot of Britney Spears, don't we?
No, there's no chance of that. Out with the bathroom. So no, it's fine. But you get bands. There's bands that I do like. Bring Them the Horizon, for example. They would pack Damnation out. They'd probably kill what Damnation's about because the fan base wouldn't be happy. But I like Bring Me the Horizon, and if they ever came and said fancy giving us a slot, I'd say no, actually, because it would be the last Damnation ever. It'd be the most successful and then the last.
And when you're actually booking bands, how much are you thinking to yourselves, will our fans be happy with this? What will people say? How will people react? It's
strange because we don't give it much thought, because we don't even need to ask the question. You say, we'll cut it on, will the fans like it? They will. Carcass, Catatonia, these bands. There's the odd occasion when you kind of get that middle ground. Been offered a tour once at a Devil Driver on it, and you're thinking, Devil Driver aren't a bad band, but a Damnation band, will there be fans there that are like, oh, I don't fancy the Devil Driver? So it does come into play, but not as often, because the bands that we're after, we're generally quite confident that the fans will like too.
And of course next year is the 10th anniversary. And tell us what you've got planned.
So far, well, the only thing that I'm looking at any different is maybe doing it 2 days. Maybe doing it over the 2 days.
I was actually saying in an interview how much we hoped this was going to be the case before.
Well, we'll see how it goes. There's a lot. I mean, literally, it's an idea in my head that said make it 2 days, and it's not been really thought through, budgeted, what bands are available, that kind of stuff. But well, the first Damnation was never thought through either, and that worked. So we'll see how it goes. But that's the aim at the minute. Maybe do it 2 days. Try and keep it reasonably priced, and maybe the same sort of setup, 4 stages each day.
That would be absolutely amazing. And so many people stay over anyway, just because they may as well make a weekend of it, that, you've got people here.
Yeah, and as long as we let people know in advance and try and get some cheap rates in the hotel rooms, I mean, that is off-putting for fans. Even come to Damnation for the one night, you think, well, it's not just the ticket price. If you're travelling anywhere but Leeds, you've got a hotel room to put on top of that. And we know that. We're from Glasgow, so when we come down, it's all hotel bills for us too. But hopefully for a special occasion, for being the 10th year, maybe people put their hands in their pockets and keep Travelodge and the jury's in busy.
Of course, you could always hire out a field, tell people it's a camping festival.
How good would that be? We would end up never doing day 2. We would just have the bands in the field, and it would be fantastic. Electric Wizard playing in a campsite. So
this has to happen. I think this could be beautiful.
It should happen. But
camping in November in Leeds. I mean, who could want more?
I know, it's a bit chilly out there, isn't it? We've got a terrace open today, and they're brave souls.
It's being a smoker. It obviously toughens you up because you have to brave the terraces. I pity them.
You deserve it. There you go. Tough is what I would say to that.
No, I think I'd agree with you on that one. If you're going to smoke, you're going to have to be cold.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, I mean, this festival, as it said, it has come such a long way. You're not planning on giving it up anytime soon?
No. I mean, it would take one really tragic year, I suppose, and it would just be games of bogey. I don't have money to throw away as such, but I mean, I can't see any reason in the foreseeable future. I mean, I'm a dad of 2 now anyway, so the kids didn't hold it back. I'm married, the wife didn't hold it back, so. And I've still got a passion for it. I mean, sometimes you can get jaded with contracts and flights and ground transport and agents and cocky bands, and you think, why am I doing this? I mean, seriously, every time you come to Damnation, by the end of the day, you're like, can't wait to get into next year. When I go in the minibus tomorrow, back up the road, I'll be telling myself, don't think about next year, but I will be. I'll be planning it. Even my brain doesn't listen, so.
No, I'm glad. I mean, so many festivals are going at the moment. It's just so sad. And Firefest, I know it's completely the opposite end of the spectrum for this, but that was a well-established festival in its own right. Yep. And it's, I think next year's it's going to be its last year, which is kind of
we've obviously had that situation ourselves with the Death Fest that we're in. That died after 2 years, and I mean, I had high hopes for that. I thought you'd do the Death Fest in May, do the Damnation in November, because you really use the Death Fest to focus on death metal and grind that. Use Damnation, well, what we're doing now anyway, with the post-rock, the doom, and more accessible bands in the main stage, but there just wasn't the appetite in the UK. I mean, tickets went on price at £10 for Immolation and Breweria and Nagura Pungent, and 500 fans, it's really not worth it. I mean, all that effort for 500 people to come down, and so they can keep moaning.
And any plans to do anything else like that? Any plans to try anything else, or is Damnation basically a main focus?
It's the main focus. I mean, I'd love to do a sort of post-rock, post-metal, the sort of themed one, but you're limited a wee bit in that. The amount of bands you know. I mean, most of the bigger bands are European or American, whatever it would be, and then. Again, would it go the same way as Death Fest? If you take away the other aspects of Damnation, what makes Damnation great, and you leave just ice old merch stage, for example, would and plus people are doing it in a minute. You get Supersonic, Art Tangent, so there's no immediate plans to add anything else to Damnation.
And you've got the 4 stages this year, which is the first time you've done this. How has the reaction to that been so far?
Fantastic. I mean, it's all worked out very well, and it's allowed us. Strangely, we added bands and reduced clashes because we're doing the sort of Hellfest style. So there's only ever 2 bands playing. There's 2 bands playing all day, but there's only ever 2 bands rather than 3 bands playing at the same time, which is a real headache for fans. so it's doing well. The reason that wasn't there in the past is because it never had a drinks licence. So you couldn't take a pint in, and trying to run a death metal stage with Damnation with a pint would not be successful.
You'd have a riot on your hands.
So that's, by the end of the day, I'll know how it's went. I mean, I'm sure. The only complaint I can see is people saying that they never managed to get in, and that's a complaint that I've got with all venues, all festivals. I mean, you go to the biggest festivals, biggest outdoor festivals, when the tents are full, they're full. So we can just take that as a compliment to the lineup, and if our fans need to see them, they need to get in a bit early.
And line-up-wise for next year, is there any kind of hints or clues you can give us?
I mean, as I've said previously, I would have probably quite liked Neurosis to play, but now that they're doing Temples, we'll probably not go down that route, because it's like, the idea of getting Neurosis is something a wee bit exclusive about it. But they're playing another festival the same year, probably no bother. And other than that, just a wish list really. So we'll see how that goes. I don't want to start saying names that never materialise, and then I end up without a headliner, end up with Carcass back.
To be honest, I think quite a lot of people will probably enjoy that in all fairness.
The same 2,000 Carcass fans that only come for Carcass will be back. Maybe I should do that.
Maybe you could just make it like a Carcass headline every single year.
Carcass Fest.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sure there's a market out there for us.
It would work. It would work better than some of the festivals I've done.
Well, thank you so much for having a chat. It's been an absolute pleasure to finally meet you. And yeah, have a fan. Good luck, like enjoying the day.
Yes.
try and do that.
Time. You'll see me with a cheeky pint and getting ready to enjoy the after show. And then
Brilliant.
The
Then
guy
you'll be
doing the
fine.
grandpa dancing at the after show will be me. Just absolutely delighted it's all over for one more year. But thanks for your time.
Wonderful.
as well.
Well, thank you so much. As I said, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you very soon, I'm sure.
Cheers.
Thank you.